Alright, welcome back everyone for the final run at our large facility walk through, talk through, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know what you would call it, but we are going over the sheriff. So, the sheriff actually has two large facilities that are a part of their speciality. So in order to get both the field hospital and the lounge level 3, you do require a sheriff. I think for ease, because the field hospital has a lot of uses, we're going to go over the lounge level 3. It's also, I think, the more powerful of the two for the game. Typically, I would aim in a perfect world to have both it and the trade depot that we went over in the previous episode. But anyways, the lounge level 3, you can build the lounge level 1 and level 2 without the sheriff. But in order to reach level 3, you must have a sheriff leader. So, this lounge level 3 will give you plus 2 beds and plus 15 morale for entertainment options, and it requires 1 material per day. Now if you have someone with knowledge of the arts, you do get a plus 5 morale for space for creativity. In a high difficulty, you're probably not going to have someone with that. In a lower tier difficulty, I mean, if you want it, you could swing it. Or if you're in Nightmare Zone trying to get the max morale achievement, you could probably get it there as well. But the morale activities for a level 3, you can do all of the standards, schedule a break, games, drinks, poker night. If you have electricity, you can watch TV. The main one is the movie night. So you do get plus 25 morale for an hour, and plus 8 noise for an hour, which used to be kind of annoying. Now it doesn't really matter quite as much. I mean, your siege threat might go up if you have infestations everywhere, but I think the best strategy for this new update is to kill plague hearts in groups so that they don't awaken one and you just kind of leave it awake there. Anyways, it also will cut your labor by 4 for 30 minutes. Now that being said, if you have a lounge level 3, you probably don't need that labor because you've probably built your base up to the point of where it's pretty much done. So you're not hurting for the labor. That makes no difference, but it does give you an extended morale period. 1 hour is essentially a full day in game. So, yeah, that's pretty fantastic. Now then, we will go over this in a second, but I did put in the Xbox. It is one of my favorite things to put in. Some of the other items you can put in here, let's see if I have any. You can install board games. They are relatively quick for a morale bump. Then, let's see, the mini bar. It will give you more short bonuses that it's pretty good. They will give you some really short but really powerful morale boosts. So if you have someone die on you, like I did in my Trumbull Valley run, this would be extremely handy. And then, of course, you can always put a comfy chair in it. And then I have the game tourney, which is a plus 15 for 1 hour, which, I mean, it's not the best one I could put in there, to be honest, but, you know, who doesn't like a good run at Blood Gulch? Brings me back to the days of watching Red versus Blue. But, anyways, I digress. This right here, the thing I skipped, is what makes this so powerful. So with this, you can watch training videos. It gives you a small increase to all of your skills. So, with the gym and shooting range, you can improve, shooting, wits, you can improve fighting and endurance, all that good stuff, but you can't improve your 5th skill. Well, this magic little button right here improves all skills. Not just one skill, all. I'm pretty sure, yes. let's just make her a marathon. So as you can see, all of her stuff, her pharmacology is maxed out, so she's a good drug dealer, but her skills aren't all maxed out. So I'm going to turn that on, and I believe in 5 minutes it should increase some skills. I bet wits is going to max, fighting is probably going to max, I might get a shooting, and I might get a marathon, but I think these two right here will probably max, maybe just one of them. But it gives you an improvement on literally every single skill. So when you have a large community like this, you tend to still only use 1, 2, maybe 3 people that have good skills because you had to level them up because they were your starters. Then everyone else is kind of stuck at base. With the training videos, you can train all of their skills, get them all ranked up, make it where your full community has strong skills, and you can build, you know, people. Where is, you can't build him. Let's see who's good. You can have someone like this with powerhouse, scouting, endurance, and then assault on top. Well, assault's not really that great, but it does come in handy because of the ammo stack size. But you can get someone like him. Powerhouse, scouting, and endurance is pretty awesome for smacking plague hearts. And then auto mechanics being maxed out, that also helps our fuel efficiency for the community. So he wasn't one of the starters that I got. I just kind of picked him up because he had mechanics. But he has come in quite handy because he has these 3 abilities that I maxed out by using these training videos. So super strong thing. We're going to take one more look because I already forgot. We're going to see if wits and fighting max. Okay. And while this does its thing, we'll start with the field hospital. So the field hospital is the other sheriff. It is the standalone. It's not an upgradable. It is just the large facility like the Trade Depot Armory Sniper Tower. Anyways, preventative medicine gives you plus 10 health. It gives you 3 plague treatment beds, just like a level 3 infirmary. Enhanced passive recovery. It requires meds and storage, but it will passively heal both your health and injuries. Scrapes and bruises. It costs 2 meds per day. Inpatient care. So it gives you plus 15 influence per day. It's not really that much at all. It's just essentially saying, hey, you have a hospital, you're helping other people, here's a little bit of money for that. And then the facility itself does cost 1 material per day. And then I plugged a pill press in, and that gives me a discount on crafting painkillers. So right here is the standard 3 beds for a level 3 infirmary. And then over here you can craft all of the medical stuff, whether it be plague cures, first aid kits, all the way up to strong painkillers. You can craft them all here. Actually, I will craft some here. Why not? Because when I get done with this, I can sell this crap to that nice little trader out there. Then you can also do the medical help button. So this is one of the more common things. So emergency medicine will remove any injuries and trauma immediately. I have a bonus for medicine, which makes it a cost of 2. I think on standard it's actually 3. And then on lethal zone, I believe it is 5 or 6 right out of the gate. And then infection therapy will treat your plague infection so long as it is not full-blown blood plague. If you are fully infected and the timer till your death has started, this will not help you. You need a cure. Now then, primary care. We will talk a little bit more about a perk to it in just a minute, or something that you could use. So I'll go over it in a second. You can boost your injury and trauma recovery, so plus 150% injury trauma recovery for an hour. It will improve your medical skills, and you must have surgery to use it. So I believe your characters also must be in base. So you must be playing as someone else for them to heal.
Hey, we got good stuff for trade. Come and get it.
Stop talking. Then if you have pathology, you can do the boost infection recovery, which is a plus 300% for an hour to help your infection recovery. It costs a ton of plague samples, as you can tell, and that only gets larger as the difficulty goes up. Same with the medicine cost. I've never used either of these to my recollection. This I use a lot because it's also in the infirmary. I've used this once or twice, but typically I just stick with this because it's the cheap way to get rid of blood plague infection. And then we will talk about primary care. So, if you go into a sketchy situation and you want to try not to die, you can use primary care. It will give you plus 50 health and minus 45 injury chance. Now, it did also, I believe, used to give you a infection resistance, but they obviously took that away because you used to be able to make yourself pretty much invincible to the blood plague, and once they figured that out, they went ahead and nerfed it. But you do have to have a knowledge of medicine, and you get a bonus for knowledge of surgery. I'm not sure what that bonus is actually giving me. I think it's giving me an extra 30 minutes of time, but I'm not 100% certain. But you can stack this with, well, I don't have an infirmary, but if you have an infirmary, you can stack it with it so that you would get a minus 90% injury chance and plus 100 health. At least that's how it used to be. I have not tried it since update 33. So we will take a look at that at some point. I'll probably do it off screen and comment down below if it worked or not. And then the final thing is the special treatment options. So these are community-wide options. So essentially, if you take the emergency medicine and the infection therapy and then made it for your community, that's what we're talking about. You can fix all injuries and trauma for the whole community, or you can cure all infection throughout the community. So if you have a particularly rough, what's the word I'm looking for? Siege. If you have a max level siege hit your community and you have a ton of people banged up and with blood plague infection and all that, you can use this to cure everybody. Now, if you're one of the folks that swaps through characters a lot and actually uses the entire community and they're all beat up, well, this is how you can kind of help that. You can go ahead and cure everyone in one fell swoop, and it's all good. Now, that being said, it is a steep price. 8 medicine for either of these in the lethal zone is going to be pretty steep. That being said, with these large facilities, typically when you get them built, you've made it a little ways in, so you probably have some supplies by then, or at least you have the means to gather those supplies. But that is the field hospital in a nutshell. Would I use it in a high difficulty? Maybe, if I had more large, if I was in a base like this, where I have more large slots than small slots, or if I had 3 or 4 large slots and maybe 4 or 5 smalls instead, and I wanted to use some of them for stills rather than an infirmary, I would build the field hospital and use it. I mean, why not? It's a good alternative too. I mean, look, we don't have an infirmary here. I built a workshop, a range, and a fighting gym, and I'm using the field hospital as my infirmary. So, I mean, that's a perk as well. It's just kind of dependent on your base, though. Lounge level 3, I would definitely do, and while we're thinking about it, okay, so wits didn't max out, but fighting did. Shooting got a star. So, as you can tell, just small increases, but I didn't have to use her. And now she has that. So, marathon, that gives me stamina. Let's go with striking. I like striking. Striking is fun. Blunt weapons are fun. But anyways, that's a quick explanation, or at least as quick as I could be. These two are quite a lot of things, but that's an explanation for both of those large facilities you must have a sheriff to have. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe. I've been telling everyone this in all of the videos, but I did start a Discord community. It is open to all of you. Please join me in there. Let's all be friendly gamers. I've got plenty of channels for different games that I tend to play. I also have voice channels for those games as well, and a public chat. Now, if there are any games that you guys like to play and I get enough requests for it, I'll open up channels for other games too. It does not bother me one bit, so please join the community, as I appreciate all of you and all of your time. As always, I am the ADHD Gamer, and I will see you in the next one.